presets for the electric bass. Today it's Beathawk, and I'll show you how quickly you can come up with a beat and a song. I just only learned how to use Beathawk yesterday, so if I can do it this quickly, you can too. Jawohl, that's the way we're gonna do it. I'm gonna show you how. I mentioned I was born in Germany in the town of Frankfurt. Ja, Frankfurt, Deutschland, ja.
Okay, so first we're going to pick a sound out of the library. Basically we're going to assign a kit to one of the pads, which is called a track. And you do that by hitting the browser tab over here on the right after you have it in track mode. And then we're going to change the tempo by hitting the tap button on the very bottom center. So by hitting the pad button up on the left, that allows you to choose a pad. As soon as you choose it, there'll be a yellow line around it. And then when you hit the browser button, you can assign whatever you want to that. Then when you hit the pitch button, 2 buttons below the pad button, that will bring up a virtual keyboard and allow you to play the virtual keyboard to either preview the sounds or also to record them in. You pick how long the pattern is going to be in the little square that says length right underneath the pattern button. See where it says length 4 right now on the right? So now I've programmed a basic beat, and then I'm going to pick a second kit to put on the second pad / track. After you've programmed a beat, see where it says trap, extra EDM, those 2 green arrows on each side, you can actually run through the kits in that particular library while you're playing it back. So that's kind of handy. So you don't even have to be too picky when you first program a beat, just pick it afterwards. Okay, so next I'm going to pick a drum loop and put it on top of my beat in order to just fill it out and get some extra push and pull going swing wise. So you go to your library and you find a folder that says drum loops, and then you can hit the play button. And while you hold the name of the loop, it will preview the loop, but you have to hit it like right on the one if you want it to sound in time with your music. So then once you find what you like, you hit load, and it'll put that on the pad that you want. And you go back and hit the record button and hold down the pad for the duration of your pattern. In this case, that's 4 bars. So then I like to go and adjust the EQ of my loop so that it's not interfering with the EQ of my current drum samples. So I'll maybe take like out all of the bottom end out and filter it. So that's what you'll hear me doing right here. So on the right, there are also volume controls, controls for panning, whatever's on that pad / track, EQ controls like a high pass and low pass filter, pitch, reverb and delay. So in my case, I'm going to use a high pass and low pass filter to get rid of some of the bass frequencies so it gels better with the rest of my patterns. Notice at the bottom it says Step Editor. You click on that and you can open up the piano roll. And you can find the sound by clicking over here on the left. I think that allows you to solo or mute different things so you can figure out which one of these up here is which sound. On the bottom are your editing tools, and notice how the eraser tool is highlighted. So I use my finger to select all the notes on the top and remove them. Then I hit the little yellow X to close that out, and on the top, if you hit the song button, now I can drag the patterns into the song. And then if you select the part, in the middle the tools will turn yellow and allow you to change the length of the pattern that you already have. You can double it or make it half or just even make it a little bit shorter. But I'll show you more of that in a minute. See how the yellow buttons light up. But first I'm going to strip down pattern number 2 a little bit, and then I'll come back to the resizing in the song mode in a second and show you. Next I'm going to hit the pattern button, and I'm going to make copies of what I've done already into 4 different other patterns. And then I will put them in song mode and start stripping down the first one so that I can have a build-up. Next, I'm going to add some other musical elements, you know, like bass or stuff for a melody or chords to the song. And I'll start with some sort of arpeggio and pick that and put that in, edit it a little bit, and put in the bass line. Okay, so I'm gonna goof around here in step edit mode and move some notes around and try some things, and rather than sit here and make you watch and listen to a bunch of garbage for 5 minutes, I'm gonna skip ahead and you'll hear what I ended up with. So I'm going to make some more copies of the beat so that I can continue to build up the song. And then next we'll pick a bass sound and put over a simple bass line. So now I have a bass line and it's kind of loud, so I'm going to go and turn it down and then maybe scroll through some other bass sounds to see if that's the best sound that I like and settle on one. and then take it from there. I just remembered, don't forget to save. This program does not auto-save, and you'll lose everything. So I should have saved a long time ago, but I'm saving now. So next I'm going to assign another sound to one of the pads so we can make the song a little bit fuller, maybe some sort of pad. Okay, so again, I'm going to fool around here with the step editing and come up with something that I like and move ahead like 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to do some rolls real quick to make a breakdown, and there's a repeat button over here. You hold that down, and then whenever you hit a pad, it'll automatically repeat itself. The speed at which it repeats itself is dependent on the quantize value in the grid box right next to quantize. So then when you're done doing the rolls, you go into the step editor and you choose CC on top and velocity, and then we can draw a velocity curve so that they don't all come in like the super strength. They can come in gradually, and again you'll hear the result here. I'm going to go into my sounds that come with Beathawk and find a noise and trigger that as a sample, and then change the volume envelope on that so it doesn't all just come in at once. And then I will find a swell of some strings or some sort of pad that swells in, and that will complete the build-up, and you'll hear it here in a second. So I hit record and automated the modulation ribbon on the top, which is pretty much the only thing that we can modulate in this program. Which is pretty much the only thing you can automate in this program that I know of, other than CC values, and that doesn't work on everything. Also, you'll notice that there's a red line above the piano roll. That's the modulation bar. So I'm going to program in some modulation for the bass just by hitting and record and moving my finger across it. Okay, now listen to it in context. I'm going to add a loop of some synth sound to the end pattern so that it actually builds up, and then I will show you quickly how you can also trigger your patterns in song mode by hitting the record button. So we'll create a fill at the end doing that. So then I will paste another copy of 8, pattern number 8 at the very end. After you have exported your stems, you browse to your sound library, your user library, and you'll find a folder there where there are exported stems. And if you double tap on that folder, the zip is an option. And then you can double tap on the zip file, and that will give you the option to export it. And I exported it to iCloud, so I could pick the Cubasis folder and put it in audio user. And once that is done, go back to your iPad and open up Files, which is your file browser. Find the Cubasis folder, user, audio. You'll see the zip file and double tap on it. And if you have Cubasis open already, it will open up inside of the audio folder, the user audio folder of Cubasis. Then you create a bunch of audio tracks and double click on each file one at a time to load them in. Match your tempo of your DAW to the tempo that you had in Beathawk. So then the very last thing I'll show you is how now I can grab effects in Cubasis, and I'm not going to automate them. I'll just do something real quick like a filter in real time, and then you can see how You can further manipulate your song in ways that you couldn't in Beathawk and Cubasis. So thanks for watching this tutorial. Hope that you liked it, and if you feel so inclined, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I put up new tutorials. And if not, then maybe you could hit the like button. That would help me too. Either way, we'll see you next time. This is the Bedhead Producer, over and out. Okay, so from this same song menu, there's an export button. And so you can export as a 2-track, which is the first option, export multi, which gives you the stem files, and you can also export your MIDI. So then you have to go to your browser where you would pick your sounds and go to the user library tab